Jesus, boys, girls, in-betweeners! This is a very exciting, very special day because finally we get the first bit of real, concrete information about the buffs and changes that Juri's going to get in Season 3 Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. That's right, just before the Video Game Awards today, Capcom Unity dropped a blog post which covered every single character's changes to their V-Trigger system in Season 3 and the V-Trigger 2, which everyone's going to get. So we don't care about all those other characters. We don't give a shit. We're just here for the fucking jury. So I'm not going to waste your time rattling off all those other characters' changes. We're going to go straight to the meat. And okay, just give me. I'm very excited about this. I just got to bring this up. Okay, I'm just going to bring up the actual listing here. Okay, got it. Now, Juri, Feng Shui Engine Beta is the name of the move. Juri emits a field around her that drains her opponent's EX gauge and is taking it for her own.
I don't like where this is going.
The roundhouse kick she performs upon activation has a hitbox and draws the opponent in, giving her a good opportunity to absorb the opponent's gauge.
Stop! No.
The gauge absorption effect is paused while Juri performs the throw and when she's midair. So be sure to think wisely about your fighting methods while this V-Trigger is active!
You're batshit insane!
Oh my god! What? I'm beyond words. I'm lost. This looks terrible. This looks awful. This is just the worst. And on paper, this V-Trigger looks fucking awful. Think about it. Juri, in her current state, cannot apply sustained pressure safely, so pulling people in works against her. Okay. All right, let's calm down. Let's go through. Let's look at this objectively. Let's go through some of the positives and some of the negatives before we draw up a conclusion. All right, on the positive side, characters like Balrog and Abigail rely on meter for big damage and safe approach. So that, for those two, at least off the top of my head, it would actually be a fairly decent V-Trigger for those matches because Feng Shui Engine has a limited usability in those two matchups because Balrog spends most of his time blocking when he's not trying to hit you, and Abigail has armor on most of his moves, so trying to confirm off V-Trigger is not really that helpful. What else? Pulling people in could make moves like Standing Me and Punch more viable because currently Standing Me and Punch, obviously, even though it's +2 on block, has a lot of pushback, so it's really not useful unless you're canceling it in something straight away. So if Juri's constantly pulling people in while this thing is active, maybe it has some more usability in those, maybe it has more usability as a frame trap tool or harassment tool. I don't know. On that note, maybe there's more combo and mix-up potential that we don't know about. That, you know, it's hard to say without seeing in action. All we have at the moment is a screenshot. Maybe it has like a really vicious fucking suction effect like Zangief's Lariat that could give her some really good pressure that way. I don't know. And probably the last thing I would say is that to their credit, this is probably the only time in this video I'm going to give Capcom credit, it does actually play into the lore of the Feng Shui Engine, because if you don't know, the Feng Shui Engine is there because characters like Ryu and Chun and other ones are all capable of both generating and enhancing key energy in the Street Fighter universe. They either generate themselves, they pull it in from the world around them, and use it for their attacks. Juri, on the other hand, does not have that talent. She doesn't know how to be able to handle and generate ki. So what the Feng Shui Engine does in Street Fighter 4, and I would assume in Street Fighter 5, is that it is actually designed to rip and tear ki out of the environment around her. That's why, and this works canonically, if Juri is always throwing her leg up before she does an attack, that's actually her actually gathering the ki for the attack. It's how it works. So that's a little bit of the story and the lore behind Juri's Feng Shui Engine. Alright, let's talk about the negatives. My god, where to start? Juri, as a character, has very little use for meter outside of specific situations. Basically, if you're playing Juri, the only times you're going to be using meter is, it's nice to have one bar on deck at any time for the threat of a EXDP, of a reversal. But if you're not using it for that, you're basically going to be using it for punishing fireballs and nothing else. You're going to be using it for the EX Warrior on Satsu. You might be able to use it in a combo or a frame trap setup, things like that, but she really does not rely on Mina much as a character at all. She is not Mina hungry because her EX moves suck. That's pretty much the reason why. What else? Canceling off activation, to my mind, does not give her any conceivable damage boost. All it does is give her a confirm. You know, at least with Feng Shui Engine in V-Trigger 1, you activate that off a confirm, you're going to get a pretty, you know, not a great combo. Jesus Christ, it's not a great combo, but you'll get a decent combo. You'll be able to confirm into around 300, maybe 350 damage. But with this, it's just going to be, unless you already have Fireball stored, you're not going to be getting much damage off a confirm with this, and it doesn't generate damage by itself. So it's just there to suck up meter and apply pressure and nothing else. Now, I touched on this before, but pulling people in with the effect of the V-Trigger is really, it's a double-edged sword. Think about it. Juri, for the most part, really, to my mind, as a Juri player, where Juri excels is in the neutral, and it's largely because of her footsie reach and her ability to hit people and keep them out without getting into their effective ranges. She can keep just about any character out of their comfort zone and out of their effective range. Even characters like Karin and Ken have a hard time spamming their stand heavy kicks to try and fish for crush counters if you know what you're doing with your spacing and your neutral with Juri. So with that in mind, if you're pulling people in with this thing, it could cause as many problems as it solves. I mean, really, when you think about it, characters like Cammy, Mika, Karin, Lauren, Geef, they would all thrive at being pulled in by a Juri. You don't want them in there. You want them as far away from you as possible. So it would really create a lot of problems in a lot of matchups. And really the last thing I can think of is that Juri, let's say you use this and you steal a bunch of meter, you're fully stocked, you got your 3/6 of butter, ready to go. Juri is not really much of a threat even with a full bar of super. I mean, like I said before, her EX moves are all negative on block. She's not much of a threat by having those. So unless you're able to confirm it as super or something else like that, it's, you know, people might be upset at losing their bar, but it doesn't make you necessarily more of a threat having all of theirs. So, in conclusion, I'm not gonna lie, I am really bitterly disappointed in the V-Trigger 2 initial impressions. Now just initial impressions. But from what I've seen here and applying it to my knowledge of the character, it appears to be a passive tool with little application on the surface, and I cannot see it generating a momentum shift in a match. If you activate Feng Shui Engine, people will generally back off because they know you can at least apply pressure with that. But with this thing, I can't even see that being the case. It just seems passive and awful, and I don't know. Oh god. All right. But that said, and this is probably a really important caveat, there is going to be a Season 3 balance patch. Capcom did confirm that today, that there would be adjustments made for Season 3. We've already seen some with Ken's throw loops being technically removed, things like that. So we don't know what advantages Juri might get by pulling people in if her frame data improves, if she has new mix-up options, if she has better frame data on her normals, frame traps, things like that. It could be a very big difference between what we see then and now. We can only apply the knowledge of what we've seen here to what we know about Juri in Season 2. She could be an entirely different beast in Season 3. We don't know. So that's an important thing to keep in mind, if nothing else. But I honestly do not hold high hopes for Juri in Season 3 at this stage. If this is the boost that Capcom thinks she needs to become a more viable character, they have to know that she is garbage tier. There's no way, even if they think that she is better than that, they have to know that the world at large thinks that she is the worst character in the game by a country fucking mile, and this is what we get as a way of boosting her, to make us excited for her, as a way of making her more viable, as a way of making her a bigger threat. I mean, my god. Oh. Alright guys, that's it. Please tell me your thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's something I'm overlooking, maybe there's an angle I have not seen this from yet, and you're shouting at me as this video plays out, and I can't hear you because I recorded it a day ago, and you're just going to have to leave a comment there, and I will answer it as soon as I see it. So please do that. If you enjoyed, if you agree, hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, do all those things, and here's hoping we get some better news in the future about Juri. But in the meantime, Kisses, hugs, and belly rubs, guys. I will see you all very soon.